So as the caption says, I'm going to try to make this short and sweet as possible as I can do. 4th gen steering wheel on a 3rd gen. I figured out the wiring on the little bit older steering wheels from a 4th gen. So the ones we're going to be working with, you know, I'm missing the buttons here, but you got your selector here. But this is your cruise control lever. And that's what, this is the one I figured out. I didn't do the newer ones where it's got all your fancy buttons. I didn't need it. I didn't care. I didn't worry about radio controls or anything like that. I simply wanted a nicer steering wheel, so I found one on Marketplace, bought it. The one I'm showing you is a different one from Marketplace I ended up not using, so I'll demonstrate. This is the steering wheel I had in the truck, being an 03. 04 and up, they had different steering wheels, which everything's going to be the same, though. The only difference is this has a high-speed, well, I should say this one's got the high-speed airbag sensor, which is only... It's only got the one connector in the back, which you can't really see, but it's in the clock spring. And then 04 and up has the high speed and low speed. All the airbag connectors are going to be the same. So bear with me on this. This is my first YouTube video. This is the first time I've made a video like this. I normally don't do this kind of thing, so if it's bad, I'm sorry. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to take this plug right here. This is the plug you're going to need. Now, there is a way to depin this. You can unpin these wires from this connector here. Unless you got a real skinny, sharp tool. Otherwise, get a paper clip, file it down with a little flat spot. And you're going to go in there, and I'm not going to really be able to show you on the camera here. But inside here, there's locking tabs. And if you just push that locking tab while putting just gentle pressure right here like that, it'll pop out. So there's 4 wires you're gonna need total. So you're gonna need the purple. You'll need the purple with the orange, this purple. You're gonna need the orange with the purple stripe. And then you're gonna need the black. Black is gonna be your horn. And that's going to be important for later. So on my old steering wheel, I already have this harness apart. There was an extra harness that I have. You're going to need this plug here. That's all you're going to need. Don't waste your time cutting it, anything like that. You don't need to cut and splice, although you can. I'd recommend not, because when you start putting splices in here, your space gets really tight. So you can tell the plugs are different. This right here is your 3rd gen, obviously 4th gen. So for this plug right here, we need to depin that. We also need to depin that. And then this is going to go with these wires right here. The pins themselves are the same. The plugs are only bigger for more wires for more options. However, the crimped on pins are going to be exactly the same. I'll show you what I mean. It's going to be really hard to show it on camera, but I'll try to depin it and show you. So this is what I did right here. I just took it, filed down a paper clip, real skinny, almost like a flathead. And this might actually be too big, so you have to play around with it a little bit. I would recommend not getting such a large paper clip, but that's all I had to show you. So first, right in here, this flips up. So you're going to take that, let's put your nail in there, flip that up, gives you more access. So after you flip that, I misspoke before, you're actually going to come in right here, right up in here, just like this. And then there's a tab, and you're going to go down. Put just a little pressure on your fingers. And then what you're going to do is, I'm trying to look at the camera while doing this, I'm a little off. You're going to go down, you're going to put a little pressure, you'll feel it pop. And go in all the way to the top, just like, focus. just like this, and you're gonna pull that tab, and you're gonna repeat that in all of these. Be careful when putting a lot of pressure down. This will go all the way through and you'll stab your finger. Don't ask me how I know. But again, you're gonna take this, go in, but don't put pressure on here until you get this in, down, then put pressure. You're gonna wanna push these in just a hair to release it, so it makes it easier. Push down, pull. So when you sit here and pull them all and get them released, again, it's not focusing, but you'll get the gist of it. And then one more, you go in, pop, and it should just come right out, just like that. Now your connector's free. So you can see these little nubs right here. That's what prevents it from going in too far, kind of holds it in place. And then right inside here, you can kind of see these little tabs on the inside are what lock everything together and hold everything in place. And that's what you're releasing. You're just putting a little pressure. Remember, this is plastic, it'll break, but be gentle. But all you need is a little pressure, and you pull on the wire a little bit when you think you got it released, and it'll slip right out. You don't need a lot of force. If the wire's not coming out, stop. You didn't release it. So same thing on the 4th gen plug. You're going to flip this tab up, so it's going to allow it to slide out. So make sure you know what direction the terminal goes in so it locks in. This bottom end is closed, meaning it's going to go towards the tab here. This tab that you can flip. If you spin the wire, you'll see that it's open. So again, you know, your solid end that's the longest with no cutouts goes to the top of this tab here. So one more time, you're going to go in, go to the narrow spot of the plug, because notice the plug shape, you got the wider end, the narrow. Go in the narrow part, not the hole on top, just that narrow column. You're going to put it in gently, and you're going to slide it so it goes to that wire. You're going to wiggle it, a little bit of pressure, and it'll release just like that. You push it down this way, away from this tab, and it'll be enough to release this when you put just enough pinching pressure like that, and it'll pull right out. Be patient. If you're not used to doing this sort of thing, it'll take you a few times. So I have this issue where I always have this mentality of, what if I want to go back to how it was? What if I want to go back to stock? I don't want to lose anything, and I don't want to make it harder than I need to. So what is, I just keep my plug there. I keep those connected just because I don't want to lose it. It makes it easier. It'll be just enough space to tuck it in. One more thing, this right here, you're going to have to open that up. It's going to have to open up to about, I want to say right about here, where my thumb is, to clear that clock spring. So if you don't open this up, you're going to crush the little knob on your clock spring. So make sure that's opened up. All I did to figure all this out right away too is I took these wires, because they go to this switch right here, and all I did was trace them back, because everything's going to be color coded even if you can't find a schematic. All you got to do is find color coded wires, and then take a multimeter, and all I did was I pinned it and started flipping the switch, and my ohm resistance started changing. That's literally how I figured this out. It took me 15 minutes. It is possible to do this, and your cruise is going to work. Mine works. It turns on, it turns off, it accelerates, it decelerates. You can cancel it out, push the button to turn it off. Along with, you know, you hit the brakes, it turns the cruise off as well. I've never had an issue. I've ran this on my truck for 2 years. I did kind of wait to make this video because I wanted to see if I would run into any issues, and so far I have not. Everything's fine. No codes on the dash. The dash lights up with cruise on. When I do turn it on, turn it off, I've never had an issue. And then for comparison, this is your 3rd gen harness out of that steering wheel, that big old ugly van thing. This is the 4th gen harness. The pins are the same. Everything is the same. They will go into the connector. The only difference is the connector is wider to allow more wires because you got more buttons. That's the only difference. So all you're going to do, you put them in, push them in, you'll hear it lock. Just kind of wiggle it so it goes, and then you'll hear it lock. I don't know if the phone's picking that up. And then again, the more exposed end goes to that tab. And you just kind of gently wiggle it. You don't need to force it. If it doesn't go on its own, it's not right. You got to do it again. Same thing here. Put it in. Just kind of wiggle it. It'll find its channel and its home. Like I said, if you need to force it, it's not in correctly. You got to figure out the proper route that it needs to go. Get it in. You'll hear or feel it click. Take your tab right here. Push it down to lock everything in place like that. And you're good to go. That's all you need to do. That's all you need to do. Well, that black one didn't go in all the way. You know what I mean, though? This is where it goes. And this is how it's going to go. It's going to plug right into your truck. And then you're going to flip your cruise, and everything's going to work. So right here, I'll show you. There's no tricks or anything going on. Start it up. And right here, there's your lever. Click it on, and it comes on. Right there. And then like normal, hit the button, turns off. Now one thing I didn't do was I didn't tap into that black wire for the horn, because my truck has a train horn right under here. So I understand that not everybody's going to have a train horn. Not everybody's going to want a train horn. Not everybody's going to hook a train horn up, whatever. You want your horn to work like normal. So these white buttons right here activate your horn. They all push in. So anytime you hit your airbag, whatever, it's gonna turn or activate your horn. Well, this black wire here on the far end, what you do is you can tap into that. You can just do a quick little splice into it and bring another wire out, preferably one that's got like a terminal on it, or a pin, I should say. And you can actually just go here and measure the distance out to how long it's going to take for this to go down, and just make it so it touches metal. When it touches metal, what's going to happen is it's going to ground out and it's going to activate your horn. If you're figuring this out, I highly recommend pulling the fuse for your horn or unplugging it. Do whatever you got to do, because if you live in town, your neighbors are going to hate you. Mine hate me. So this is just like a random pin from a Deutsch connector, and this is just for visual. What you can do is you can epoxy this here or wherever, just kind of, you know, find the sweet spot. And then when you hit the horn, it's going to touch on the bottom, and that's what's going to set it off. And then this will actually come out of here. So you'll splice into that black one, making a third wire. You can even just splice into it and put this wire on it and just do this to understand what I'm saying, how it's going to activate it. And then, like I said, pushing this down is going to trigger it when it hits the metal. Like I said, I didn't do that because I have a train horn. If you have buddies that are electrically inclined, automotive electrical or anything like that, reach them out for advice as to what I'm saying. They'll understand it. Well, when you're done, you plug this in, you'll have your everything bolted down, tighten, put your airbag in, and you're ready to rock and roll, and it should work. Work for me. It's worked for me like 2 or 3 times on vehicles. Like I said, I haven't done the newer steering wheels where it's got more of the menu buttons with, you know, okay, and I never mess with radio controls. I got an aftermarket radio, and I knew I was going to be switching the aftermarket radio with another aftermarket radio, so I didn't bother. In my opinion, your hand is right there. I just reach and push the stereo anyway, so I didn't really care. So these buttons right here, and, you know, Well, this one doesn't have it. My truck has volume controls on the back. Doesn't matter to me. So they're just there. They're just dead buttons. If you want to figure it out, go ahead. But all you got to do is just trace the wires and follow where they're going. That's pretty much general rule for anything electrical. They're always color coded. That'll make things a lot easier. If you have any questions, leave a comment. I apologize if this video is terrible. I hope it gets the info you need, because I'm doing this on my own and I don't do YouTube videos. This is not really my thing. But when I did this, I put on a Cummins forum that I figured it out because everybody said it's impossible. Your cruise doesn't work. I figured it out and I made the mistake of posting the info. And I woke up the next day on Facebook to 160 messages asking me how I did it. But I didn't want to tell people a whole lot yet. I just gave them what I did. Use at your own risk. So far for 2 years, I have not had any problems. If you are not electrically inclined, I highly advise you to reach out to somebody who is electrically inclined. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not saying that you're not going to screw this up. Be careful. I do a lot of this every day for work, so everything I say is at your own risk. But I hope this helps. I hope this explains it. If you have any questions, again, leave them in the comments. I'll try to answer them as best as I can. I'm going to put little clips of this on TikTok as well. You can reach out to me there, Instagram. All my handles are the same. Whatever you want to do. Doesn't matter to me. Or don't. It's your call. And I'll see you in the... I don't know if I'm going to make another YouTube video again. We'll see.